Hi everybody, I'm Cheryl Connelly. I want to thank Gemma and Carol for inviting myself and Dina from Akron Public, and then also Ms. Collins, thank you for being a part of this, and the NCAA, everybody for this organization. Parents, thanks for everybody for coming. This is my 35th year in education. I was 27 years a classroom teacher, I actually, with Early College, which was started 13 years ago, I started the school as an educator. So I was one of the first social studies teachers in the school, and then we added 100 kids, and then the next year we added 100 more, and I moved up. And so I've been part of this grassroots of the Early College since it began, so it's my baby. And we work very hard to help our students be successful. And over time, things consistently keep changing and families keep changing, and we have created a great family atmosphere in our school that I think is part of the philosophy that helps the school be successful. But we started back in 2007. We're part of the 10 network early colleges in the state. Youngstown, Monica Jones is the principal. She's part of our network. We meet usually 3 times a year to kind of steal and beg and borrow from each other to see what's successful and to make work towards helping each other become better schools. Sorry, I gotta get my glasses on here so I can see. Just some kind of context for us. We are we're a joint venture between the University of Akron and Akron Public Schools, and initially Knowledge Works back in 2007 to get our school started. We are actually housed and located on the University of Akron's campus. We're in the Polsky building downtown. Our students come to campus as 9th graders, and they become students, college students. They're never high school students because they never step foot in a traditional high school. They're on the University of Akron's campus. And we're embedded with, our kids start from the very freshman year taking college classes. They take 1 college class each semester in their freshman year, 2 in their sophomore year, and as they move to juniors and seniors, they're full-time college students, and they complete their high school diploma at the college level. About 90% of our students receive associate's degrees upon graduating from our program. They graduate on Thursday, and then on Sunday they graduate with their associate's degree. So we're a high-performing school. We do the OST very well, which is why the report card is well. We do well on the report card. Our biggest challenge is to make sure our kids are college ready in the ACT score so that they are eligible for scholarship dollars to continue their bachelor's. We never want them to stop with just an associate's degree, but we want them to continue on, for their bachelor's. Our population of students we are 80% of our population is Akron Public School students and 20% Summit County. That's the agreement that we have with the University of Akron. Right now, 32% of our population is white, 36% is African American, 23% is Asian. We have 6% multi-race and 3% Hispanic. We have 100% of our students are free and reduced lunch. Many of our Asian students are ELL students, so they come from foreign countries. They're immigrants and refugees to this country, and we help them. So our school is blended racially and ethnically with different students seeking education as a way out of poverty. We highlight the years of academic success and our pathways for student achievement. So we make sure the families know that teachers have common classroom expectations that must be met in order to solidify a strong academic foundation for their child. This foundation is the contributing factor to having success at the university and motivating our students to continue on for their bachelor's degrees. Our original class that graduated so they started in 2007, they graduated in 2011. We started with 100, we only graduated 59. So as one of the things we did not anticipate as they became full-time college students, that they exhibited the same behaviors as a freshman in college and never went to their classes and had this freedom piece that was detrimental to their academics. And so ultimately, if they got removed from the university, they can't continue in our program. So that's always our challenge, is to make sure kids understand that they have to perform at both levels well in order to be successful in our program. So we graduated 59 students, our first class. And then last year, we graduated 83 students. So we're getting a little bit better every year. Current seniors, the class of 2020, is 98 students. So right now, we're on track for 77 of them to actually have associate's degrees. After the first semester here ending, 30 of them are valedictorians. So for any person who's, according to Akron Public Schools, any student who has a 4.0 or better is considered a valedictorian. So we have, last year we had 24, this year we have 30, so you know, it's every year the kids get a little bit better academically and doing what they need to do at the college level. We have a very rich tradition of success. Our report card, we've been recognized by the state a number of times for perfect scores. We are also, last year we were recognized by the federal government. It's our second national blue ribbon. So we won the 2019 blue ribbon, and we were recognized in 2013 for the blue ribbon. So last year, when my assistant principal and I went to DC to receive the award, there were 362 schools recognized by the federal government as top performing exemplary schools. 70 of them were receiving it for the second time, which was us, and 5 were receiving it for 3 or more. So my assistant principal's challenge as we move forward is to get, next 5 years, get a third blue ribbon. We consistently look at our strengths and weaknesses based on the report card. The report card is all based on Ohio State testing data, so it's 9th and 10th grade. Our school is kind of in 2 schools. We have 9 and 10 that registers through this, and then 11 and 12 is the ACT and how well they do at the college level. So we kind of run 2 schools simultaneously. At our school, we chase the ACT. We don't worry about the OST, because if they're performing at the high level of the ACT, they'll get the questions for the ACT or the OST. And so we infuse ACT prep from the very beginning in their current freshman classes, in all of the classes. So all of the teachers, as when we started this school, you know, years ago, we all took the ACT, so we knew what kind of test it was. It had been a long time since I had taken the ACT, so we learned very quickly that how we have to structure our education in our classrooms to focus on how to help our kids score well on these tests, these standardized tests. I have 10 teachers in our school, because 9 and 10, and then 11 and 12, their college professors finish their coursework with their college professors. All of my teachers teach 9th or 10th grade, and then because of some complications we've had with students, as students' lives become more challenging, we've had to introduce more 11th grade courses for our students to be able to be successful and continue in our program, to stay in our program and to do better. And we've also incorporated ACT prep at the junior level. This past year, the district kind of changed things, and Dina and I have a great partnership, which is a fantastic thing. We're both located on the University of Akron's campus. So last year, my assistant principal reached out to Dina. We had several seniors that in the past we would have lost, and they would have gone to our alternative school to get their diploma. But with Dina's help, we were able to have them go over to her high school and complete like English 11, and then they could stay with us for English 12, which we incorporated into our program. And then I think some of the kids took health, right? Health, yeah. And then also too, she has the ability to have a music program. I do not, being on the university campus. So our students actually go to her school to take orchestra, and then we actually started a club choir, and so some of her kids are in our club choir. So it's actually a great partnership that we have and share. Fortunately, we're close enough to share that, and supported by our district, which I think is huge. If you look at our report card, our achievement data, we had a B. The reason we had a B was because we didn't pass the geometry test. We got a So if you look at our data, we were like, you needed to have 80%, and we were at 73 or 4%. When we did a deep dive on the students that didn't succeed in geometry, it was 6 students. Had they passed one more, had they answered one more question correctly, they would have had the score. So it was, they were close, but not close enough. So that's why we had a B instead of an A. Math is our nemesis. Math, with students coming into our program, so like with 80% of our population being Akron Public School students, we pull from all the middle schools. And that's unique, and I think it's unique with Dina too, is that now we have to figure out a way to get them all on the same page. When I first started, when the kids came to me as a freshman teacher, it took us about a semester, maybe a semester at the most, to get everybody on the same page. But now, as we've moved on in time and things have changed and kids have changed, it's now taking sometimes a year to a year and a half to get everybody on the same page. But fortunately for us, we have a lot of professional development we use. Summit Education Initiative is in Akron, and they do a lot of data information for us. So we know that if we can work harder with our 9th graders and get them to a point where they're living in A's and B's and have a 3.0, they're going to be more successful at the college level. So that's our goal, is to always do that. And if we fall short, like right now as we finish the first semester, we have about 13 freshmen that are below a 3.0. So now my staff is working diligently. We have a sped tutor that's working with some of those students to help get the skill gap. You know, help the students do better at skills in order to be able to be better prepared for their high school classes as well as their college classes. Our graduation rate, we graduate 100% of our students. So, you know, our goal always is a high school diploma first. If our students are, like right now, we have current 2 seniors that need 1 class in order to get their high school diploma. So that's what we're focused on. They are taking online classes with the district, and we have, they'll be coming in and working with us. We have a desk in our office area. They sit and they work and they, you know, respond directly to us. So we work very closely to making sure that they will be successful in this class and at least get their high school diploma. You know, like I said, the majority of our kids graduate with an associate's degree, but the minimum amount of college credit is 25. That's usually our kids. If they can't get the associate's degrees, they usually have a minimum of 25 college credits. Usually it's around 40 to 50, depending on what happened in their lives to prevent them from being successful in college. So our graduation is good. Progress component is looking student based on the past. So value added. Value added, the progress report here on is how the students perform from year to year. We're a high achieving school. The teachers do work very hard. They look very closely at the standards that the students need to know. And we have multiple standards, I said, that we use. So we have the OST standards, they don't ignore them, but they have the ACT standards, and then we also have college standards we look at. So our students, unlike Dina, when her students want to go to college, they have to ACT test into the university. Our students actually don't have to do that. They take what's called AccuPlacer or MapleSoft. AccuPlacer gets them into college English. MapleSoft gets them into college math. So our students right now, some freshmen and all of our sophomores are taking the AccuPlacer. As at the end of the first semester, we have 10 students that didn't test into college English at the sophomore level. So my sophomore teacher and freshman teacher will be doing tutoring after school and tutoring at different times to better prepare those 10, and then they'll retest in March before we schedule them for college classes in April. So that's their English, first English Comp 1 and 2 are their 11th and 12th grade English. It's the dual credit piece. And it also prepares them to get into other college classes in order to complete their associate's degree. So our teachers, based on their test scores, you know, every year our teachers are all an excellent status. They, based on their test scores, they do very well at helping students achieve. They know the test, they know their content, and they're very proficient at, and they know their students. It's key. So we bring 100 students. Currently, right now, we have 407 students in our program, so it's about 100 students per class. We have a little more at the junior level or sophomore level because we had lost some students, so we added more, and we found that 115 was too big of a class to bring in, so the max we bring in now will be probably about 110. We are in the process, or finishing the process, of adding next year's class, and right now we're sitting about 110. But we also know as the school year starts, we'll lose a few to the parochial schools and other schools that families move, so then we'll lose kids. So we bring in a little bit more than we need. Closing the gap is making sure that all, we don't have a gap issue. Our African American kids and white kids and Asian kids, if anybody scores lower than anybody else, that's the group we focus on. The Asian kids, because of ELL, they traditionally score a little bit lower. We do have a tutor that works with them. Usually she's very successful at helping them do the OALPA testing and get out of that special having to tutor anymore, but they still have deficiencies with having English as a second language. So all of our teachers work on what are called Psyop Strategies, and so we've had professional development on that through our coordinator for EL, for English as second language, and the teachers make sure that they write out information. I do have in my notes here what Psyop means, but I got to find it. So Psyop Strategies are Dina, do you know what that acronym stands for? Yeah, we all use it, but I don't remember what what it stands for. I'll have to. It's in my notes here, but I don't know exactly where that's at. So it's just making sure that kids that are learning or using English as a second language, that you do things to help strengthen their knowledge, and many a times it's just making sure your notes and things are written on the board. Or what you want to accomplish for the day is written on a board, which is good practice. So it's good teaching that takes place and working one-on-one with kids when they need help. So we don't have a gap issue at our school, which is great. Yes. We don't have a gap issue at our school, because if we see that there's a gap issue, we address it immediately with teachers helping kids. Okay. One of the things that's nice about Akron Public, and I think Dina will address this as well, in the past year, the Akron Public Schools received the Ford NGL grant, which is part of this college and career movement in the country. And so the districts, all of the high schools have moved into a college and career academies. And fortunately for us, we were already a small school and kind of had a lot of the practices that the college and career schools are kind of trying to do in their high schools as well. But the thing that's nice for us, it added a layer of additional support for us. So we're really good at helping kids 9 and 10 achieve in school. But then one of the things that we kind of slipped with was, as they move into their junior and senior year, they graduate from high school, they graduate with their associate's degree, they don't go on for college, or they do go on to college and they don't graduate from college. So part of that's the career piece. They don't understand where they want to go with their degree. So one of the things that's nice for us is we now have some business partners. We have career expos, so we're trying to get our students, especially the juniors and seniors, more exposure to careers, so that as they move on to the figuring out what's next in their life, they have a better opportunity to be successful. So it may be what they don't want to do. If they experience that, that's great. So then they know they can pursue something else. But that's the goal of our school right now, is to help juniors and seniors with getting some job shadowing experience. And we're able to do that through the College and Career Academy piece that the district has adopted, which we hopefully will see then a higher rate of kids going to college, and not only going to college, but actually graduating from college. Right, so you have the gap closure up here, right?
Yeah, actually I switched to success because I think you started talking about success, but when you went to gap closing, it's a big issue. One of the things if you look at that gap closure, this is on a scale of 0 to 120. All of the kids in the school, with the exception of the very bottom one, which is English learners, almost all of them are 100 and above, which is how they got an A. I mean, you think of what it takes to do that.
Now that's in English, so we'll switch on to math, and then you can see it should be the...
There's math, there's still A's, just so that everyone, and that's how we want to get in the graduation. We went through very meticulous ways that we were looking at every single detail in the report cards, which is why these three people are here. So that we know. One of the things that is very hard for a lot of schools is this prepared for success. But one of the things that was impressive about Akron Early College is that if you notice not in your handbook, but 100% took the ACT and 56% were mediation free, which means they can get through college in a 4-year period because they walk through the door ready. It doesn't take that 6-year period, and that's a big deal. And 99% of the kids are enrolled in dual enrollment. So all of that's a big deal for what we're looking for in terms of what all of our schools should be doing. So and so what you see here in her prize, she can explain it, but I wanted to make sure we got some of the details. Therefore, the next two can go through it, just slide through it.
Right. For us, the ACT, the point of the ACT, our students finish, like the ACT's whole purpose is to show colleges that students can complete their first year of college without any issues. That's remediation free. Our students have 2 years already done. So the ACT for us is scholarship money. So we run around about $1.5 million to $2 million in scholarship funds for our kids to continue on for their bachelor's. Akron Public has a deal with Akron U that if you have a 3.0, it's similar to the scholarship they have here. It is free if you have a 3.0 and a 27 on the ACT. It's a sliding scale. If you have a 3.5, you can have a 24 on the ACT. And you can continue to Akron U for free. It covers all of and that's open to any Akron Public School student. So last year we had 83 of our students graduated, 45 of them qualified for the IGS scholarship. Now, not everybody stays at Akron U. We have students that go to Ohio State, Kent State, they go to other places, and they receive scholarship dollars from those schools. Like the gentleman that was up here from Trio, we do have kids that are in Upward Bound, which is an Ohio State program, and we had 3 or 4 of our students had free rides to Ohio State after having graduated with us. And we have several of our students that are in the Trio program at Akron U, so we appreciate all that extra support and tutoring that takes place across the board, because truly you can't help students enough be successful in their classes. And then what ends up happening is our kids end up helping the Trio program as they move into the middle school, high school, traditional high schools, and younger kids, they help tutor those programs, which is very nice. But anyway, I think, like I said before, is that we chase the ACT as our test. So teacher expectations. We have a culture of success. We have a culture of expectations in our schools. We have rules. I tell the kids every day, I have rules I have to abide by my boss. You have rules you have to abide by the school. And we're on a college campus, and putting a 14-year-old on a college campus is always a scary thing. Fortunately, in the 13 years, 5 years under my watch as principal, we haven't had any issues, and we hope to never have any issues. But we do have a campus monitor that walks the campus and makes sure the kids are behaving. The kids all know we're guests on campus. And what's really nice, I think the maturity piece happens quicker for our students because they're located on the campus and because they're sitting right next to a college student as they're taking their classes. So it kind of prevents them from acting up. But we work very hard to create a family atmosphere. We do a lot of wraparound services to help support our students. As kids, if they're not successful at the college or high school level, from freshmen and sophomores are adopted by teachers. Like freshman teachers have a list of kids that they meet with, just to check in, like how you doing kind of thing. So we try to make sure that no students slip through any cracks with us. If I don't have any students living in my basement, that's a good thing, because we do have kids that are homeless, and last year we had a senior that was one of our valedictorians. He was spotlighted by the newspaper. He was homeless his freshman and sophomore year. His junior and senior year, he was living with friends, and he ultimately ended up with a brother, and he was one of our students that went on a free ride to Ohio State. So, we know our students well. If they have issues, they come to us. We currently have a senior that has cancer. He has to make the decision whether he's going to lose his leg. He has a tumor on his hip that they want to actually take the leg to help remove the tumor remove cancer from his body. We're not sure. And unfortunately, he's an Asian student. His mother doesn't speak good English, so we're trying to be advocates for him, but he's also 18, so we're trying to do what we can to help him. But, that's my staff. They go to the hospital, and I'm sorry, I'm getting choked up here, but they work very closely with him to make sure that he can complete his senior year and try and be as healthy as he can as we move forward. We had a family right before Christmas, their house burnt down, so we held a fundraiser to help that family. So, it's when you come to Early College, you're a part of Early College and you're a part of our family, and we do what we can to support you academically, but also what we can support you personally. And families are a big part of that. So if we have any issues, families are always involved in that decision making to help best support their students. So the support of any student and their success academically is critical to making sure kids are successful in life and have the opportunity to achieve their dreams. And I think that's what we in Akron try and do. I'm sure you're doing this here with Youngstown students. It's just the success of any student academically is going to be best for all of us, for sure. So I think that's it for us.
Thank you.